Hello friends, Teo here, and we're playing some more Harvest Moon: The Lost Valley, and I kind of have a big topic for you guys today. Big as in possibly a little heavy, but not too bad. I don't think it'll be too bad. We are recording, yeah, okay. So, last episode I talked about how horrible I am at maintaining friendships, and painted a somewhat bad picture of myself and how I treat other people. So I think that's a good segue into this topic, which I actually was kind of putting off. I have a big list of topics that I want to talk about. And this one I really didn't know where I was going to fit in, but I think now it's a good time to talk about it because let's talk about what is wrong with me. I think the topic title, the title of the video, I'm going to stop showing me this. If you're not going to like do something about it. But, oh, we're getting maybe it'll be her. Oh, no. It's Doc again. Is he going to give us, new instrument? So this is probably another DLC. Well, hopefully I saved my game last time. It didn't say what insta buildings I got. Is there a way to like see these things? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so what's wrong with me? I think the title I'm going to use is being differently abled. And that's a very mild clickbait. Because people might want to come in and argue with me about using that term. But I'm probably on your side because I would like to say please don't call people differently abled when you're referring to disabled people. Because generally, if someone has a disability, it creates things that they are not able to do. And calling someone differently abled implies that they're completely able to do everything that an abled person can do, just in a different way. And yeah, that's very harmful because disabled people need accommodations, and people need to be aware of the things that disabled people can't do. And it also leads to judgment of these people when they're unable to do things. When a disabled person can't do something, that people, look down on them for not being able to do the thing, even though, they have a disability that makes them unable to do the thing. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk today, is about my disabilities. I am a legally disabled person. I have a lot of behavioral health issues. And I'm not going to go into like my trauma and stuff like that, but I just am going to talk a little bit about how these things affect my life. And I think last time I talked about not being able to maintain friendships, and it sounds, I don't like to necessarily blame my disabilities for things when they come up, but, because I like to do my best to see what I can do. And then, if it ends up being that there is something that I can't do because of a disability that I have, then that's that. And then I can seek accommodations, and try to use that as those labels as a tool to help me find advice and coping mechanisms and other tools that I can use to get better and just get better at doing the things. And then there's always going to be things I just can't do. But Anyway, we were talking about not being able to talk to people. I have never been diagnosed with social anxiety. I'm actually, like, being around other people and talking to people is not something that I really fear. Like, it's really specific, like, topics and interactions that I'm afraid of, and I think part of those things are more related to my general anxiety than they are any kind of social anxiety. And then I think also my difficulty in doing those things stem from being autistic, which makes social interactions a lot harder for me than they are for other people. And I am very good at, like, talking, which is not always a trait common in autistic people. It's something I'm very fortunate to be able to do, is to speak fairly well, and at least I feel like I can express myself fairly clearly. At least I can try to. I don't feel like I have difficulty just talking in general, you know. Whereas my brother, I grew up mostly nonverbal and then didn't start talking until, like, later childhood. I was actually talking really early. Like, I started talking like I don't even know, but I know, like, even at, like, 1 year old, I was, like, apparently speaking, like, full sentences and things, and, like, I was speaking, like, eloquently at, like, 2 years old. And I was also able to read. I was able to read, like, complex things, like difficult words, and, like I was reading, like, the ingredients in food, which is pretty difficult words, I would say. But I remember, like, that was something that was really, like, impressive that I was doing as a small child. So language, I also have always been really good at learning languages and stuff like that. So, like, language has always been a thing that I've been really good at. But it's like the kind of the logistical side of the language that I'm good at, and not necessarily the social implications of the language that I really understand what I'm doing. Anyway, I think that does... Oh, that's how I talk to the goddess. I've been not talking to the goddess every day. I'm creating more watery, but I only filled in some water, that's it. But, so yeah, I think that plays a big point into why social interactions are so difficult for me, because I don't understand them very well. And a lot of like ritualistic social things, like, just don't make sense to me, and, like, even when I was younger, I, like, actively rejected them, and so I don't have a lot of like experience with them. So that explains a lot of what I was talking about in my last video. So yeah, autism is a diagnosis that I didn't get until I was an adult. I didn't really see doctors a lot in my youth. Won't go into that, but I didn't really start seeking any kind of medical help for anything until I was, like, well into my 20s. Yeah, so I do deal with that, and that causes a lot of various difficulties. I do get overstimulated really easily, and so there are environments I just can't be around. One thing that I was talking about today in therapy is that I want to go see if there's anyone at the house area. So this is how I'm going to go around like this. Okay. One thing I was talking about in therapy today is that I'm really bad at I can't, like, tune out voices. I don't know how to, like, describe this in, like, what the actual, like, scientific words for this are, but, like, I can't tune out a voice. So when I'm in like a public place and there's like more than one person is speaking, I can't understand anyone. Like I can't tune out the person I'm not listening to, even if their voice is more distant. Like my brain just constantly tries to process all voices that I'm hearing all the time, and like, so I really have to speak to people like one-on-one in a quiet place, or like I literally cannot understand what they're saying. Like it just is nonsense to me, because the other voices that I can hear are also being attempted to be processed in my mind at the same time, and it just makes nonsense. And it's not only is this like it's not just like confusing, it's also very frustrating and overwhelming, and it like you know, I start to like panic and stuff like that. So like just being in like public places like is really hard for me. And like I think going back to talking about being differently abled, like I'm not like able to go in the public place in a different way. Like I'm literally not able to understand what people are saying when there's more voices around. Like I am incapable of doing that thing. And so that's something that's really difficult for me. And one thing I would like to do is like watch multiple people stream. I'm gonna make these like 2 at a time, like this, and then we'll take care. That looks really nice. I really like that. Okay, so how do I make the building pop out? It like never explained that. I'm gonna save because I don't want to mess this up. But so yeah, autism is a thing, and then despite some of the things being like pretty intense, it's actually not one of the like it's actually not one of the most like impactful things on my life, because being on disability and not having to like work in public places and things like that, like, and being able, like, I have a life that is very revolved around easing those difficulties, and so it doesn't impact me like right now, because I don't have to deal with a lot of the things that would make it a lot more difficult if my life wasn't made to be easier on me for these things. But I also do have ADHD. I'm not diagnosed with ADHD yet, but my therapist and my psychiatrist like kind of assume I have ADHD and want me to encourage me to like get a diagnosis. So sometimes I will say I have ADHD. Concentrating and task switching and stuff like are very difficult things for me. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to do this thing. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, it barely fits. It's the exact size. There's my barn. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And then I'll make... Okay, and then I'll clean up these. And this, we'll clean up some of this. And this will be my little animal area. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so... concentration, yeah, that kind of stuff. It's probably something I need to look more into. That, you know, a lot of stuff I just blamed it on anxiety before. That maybe could be ADHD. But that is another one of my major diagnoses, is general anxiety disorder. This is actually probably the most impactful thing on my life, um, out of all of the things. And I have bipolar disorder as well. And I actually think like, and then I guess I'll just list them all now. I also have major depressive disorder. I don't remember exactly the terminology, but it's an ongoing, recurring, whatever the like highest levels you can have. That's what I got. But I think that's also part of the. Oh, I'm out of space. I think that's also part of the. Whole bipolar thing is having depression, so like it's kind of weird when it's like it's a separate diagnosis for some reason. But anxiety, like my anxieties are like very extreme. I think an example I used when I was in my hearing to get disability benefits was that during the winter season, like I would get so worked up about just being anxious about like putting up Christmas decorations that I was like vomiting. And that's vomiting is a very common thing for me. Sometimes I would just like pass out, like I'll just faint because I'll get so like worked up with anxiety that I'll just faint. And I've tried to hold many jobs in the past. Like I really tried to work through it, and with every like I would thanks to bipolar, I would have these kind of good manic episodes where I would get really motivated, and like then I would get a job and I would work really hard for a while, and then as soon as that would start to, I'd fall out of the manic episode. I would just become overwhelmed with anxiety. Like I would be throwing up and passing out and like stuff like that, and like I cry all the time. I cry now. I don't do as much like vomiting and passing out now because again I have a life that is tailored to making me avoid these kinds of triggers and stuff. But though I do have a lot of anxiety things going on right now. I have passed out recently, and I have it's been probably a good couple of months since I vomited. I don't really want to talk about this stuff too detailed. It's kind of gross, but so just stuff is really hard. Like, and so I just kind of wanted to throw those things out there so you guys know about them. But recently I've been encountering people saying differently abled, and then I have a neighbor who really doesn't believe in behavioral health, and was like trying to like lecture me that I'm able to do anything that anyone else can. I'm just different, and like she means well, and and I think people who say differently abled, like she doesn't even say differently abled because she doesn't even believe in that, but like she just thinks I'm just abled but different. So I guess it's the same, just a different way of saying it. But like I think people who say this like mean well because they're trying to be like uplifting to disabled people, but like I think when you're like crying and passing out and vomiting all day, you can't maintain, just from going to like a part-time job 3 times a week. Like you can't maintain full-time employment if that's your reaction, and you can't even get yourself to go to like those like things. And I've even tried like working from home, doing things I was interested in, like, and it just, I just haven't been able to maintain. I've tried very hard, and like sometimes I think about trying again, but I don't know. That's a discussion for the future. But did I save the game? I did put my barn out, which is good. So So yeah, the reason I wanted to talk about all this stuff is not so much to like kind of show off my disabilities or whatever. And there's definitely a lot more to the story than what I have said. And I can give you a lot more examples of how these things are disabling or have caused great turmoil in my life. But my point here is please recognize disabled people as disabled and try not to use words like differently abled because it takes away from the struggle. That's somewhat insulting, and it discourages people from getting the help and accommodations that they need. And it's kind of, I've realized that I would say most people are doing this in good faith. They say this because they're trying to, they want you to feel there's nothing wrong with you, but like, as if I don't feel bad about my disabilities. Like they're frustrating and difficult. Like they create lots of problems, but I don't feel like, even though I started the video saying what's wrong with me, like I don't feel like I'm like, I mean I used to, but I don't feel like I'm like a broken person who, it's like I don't have these like bad feelings about it. There are things that you can come to accept. And like, I've been kind of I've been in treatment for 12, 13 years now, like getting psychiatric help and medications and accommodations. And I have a social worker, and I have a really supportive husband who does things for me, like make phone calls and some stuff, but also encourages me to like, do what I can and push myself and, be the best that I can be. But, like I have a really good support group and help that I've been getting it for over a decade now. And, I'm still working. I'm still a big work in progress, but these are things you can come to accept. And there was a time before when I didn't, that's all I viewed myself as a worthless broken pile of trash, and that couldn't do anything, and I didn't understand why. And I think if you just say, oh, you're just differently able, then it's like, then why can't I do the things if I'm able to do them but different? Like that doesn't help that mindset. And I think that encouraging people to say, like, it's totally cool to live with disabilities, like, that's just part of that person's human experience. And I think that we should be more uplifting for people to accept and embrace their disabilities than trying to talk around it. And that's the message I wanted to give today, was that it's okay to be disabled. And I think when people say things like differently abled and stuff like that, it's because they're kind of, I don't want to psychoanalyze it and say anything. I don't want to go into that, but I think that just I think just look at a disability as something like it's just another part of a person. And people just can have things they can't do, and that's okay. Not everybody has to be completely capable of everything that everyone else is. Like it's okay. That's great. That's it. Just yeah. And I hope if you're someone out there who has a disability, or multiple disabilities or something, I hope that you can find that acceptance to where, it's a part of you, but it doesn't mean there's something bad or wrong with you. It's just it's just a part. It's just there. Like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not a good thing, and it is something that causes problems, but it's not like, you're not bad for having it. That's this, like, yeah, That's what I'm trying to say, I think. And don't say differently able. Accept people with disabilities and try to help them get the accommodations they need. That's important. Those are my messages for today. And we put our barn out, so now we just need to meet a dock. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been recording a lot tonight. I saw like maybe 2 more hours I could record. I'm ready to go. I'll see you guys later though. Have a good one and bye bye.